So your high school student is getting an A in their physics class. But what if I told you that that might actually be a warning sign? What if your child is hiding a rare underdeveloped gift, one that could lead to success in STEM fields, medicine, or even law, but maybe completely missed in a typical school system in the US? So let's talk about how to recognize, nurture, and showcase a talent for physics before it gets lost in the noise. Now I'm going to talk about why talent in physics often get overlooked. Unlike other subjects, physics polarizes student. To some, it's a nightmare, and to others, it just clicks. The math, the motion, the universe, it all seems to make sense. And these students don't just cram formulas. They see how the world works. But here's the problem. Most American high school students focused on athletics, those schools that hang giant banners for football championships, will not even print a poster for a science fair finalist. So because of this school setting, it's very difficult for a talented student in physics to be motivated to continue developing their skill set in the science, in physics. So if your child says physics is easy or fun, this might be a deterrent for them because their peer group, their friend group, doesn't think it's easy or fun or as cool as watching their high school basketball team play. So this is not something to brush off when your teenager brings this type of feedback and you notice their talent in physics. Because I tell you, it's rare. I grew up not having an affinity for physics. And I see how rare it is for those that do have competence, natural gift in physics, just how intelligent they were and how effortless they seem to be at problem solving. I mean, they internalize a few core ideas such as motion, force, and energy and solve any variation of the problem thrown at them. So in athletics or even in the music department in high school, the system catches in music's department, the system catches talent early. Like there are tryouts, there are fans, there's structure. But for physics, there are no scouts, no varsity jackets, no Olympic trials for scientific intuition. And even worse, some schools actively resist pushing their advanced STEM kids. For example, if your teenager's high school does not have AP Physics course and you suggest adding it, the answer you'll probably hear is, oh, we don't have the time or the money. Let's just remodel the gym instead. That's what they might legitimately tell you. So here's what happens to your gifted physics kid. They get A's on their physics, ace all their tests easily, and they get a perfect score on the AP exam that they may have to self-study. This is common for hundreds of other students. This is a given. So they become one of many. There's no standout portfolio. There's no research, no competition record. This student is just another high achieving applicant to a top school like MIT, hoping that the test scores speak loud enough. But if you have seen any of my previous videos, my core philosophy is that these scores, these quantitative measures of your child's academic performance and potential are not enough in college admissions in 2025. So what can you do as a parent? How to spotlight talent in physics? First is to start early. You want to recognize and see the gift in your child as early as possible. Support deep work. And then showcase outcomes. And I'm going to give you some examples of what deep work and the outcomes are in college admissions setting. So what I recommend is enrolling them in programs like Physics Olympiad. Encourage them to simulate experiments using free tools like Desmos. and guide them to real science competitions like Regeneron, ICEF, local physics fairs, and help them reach out to a university or a lab where they can assist in computational or data-driven projects. And most importantly, you help them document their independent learning and research. Let them start a blog, a YouTube channel, a GitHub, explaining physics simulations. This is how your team can make the invisible talent visible to admissions officers. So let me be clear on the long-term value of physics training and education. Nurturing this skill doesn't mean your child has to be a physicist, because a physics foundation opens every door from engineering, medicine, AI, even law, finance, robotics. Why is someone being so good at physics open doors to so many different fields? Well, it's because physics trains the brain in universal problem solving. That's why physicists win Nobel Prizes in medicine. And fun fact, one of the first scholars to decode ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs was not a linguist. He was a physicist. So physics doesn't just teach you the science. It teaches students how to problem solve and to think. These are two critical skills that many top colleges value. So if your child gets A's in physics and tells you that it's easy, don't just tell them that, oh yeah, you're doing great. Ask them this: how far do you want to take your talent? Because it's rare. Let them know that it is a rare talent that they got. And once cultivated, sky's the limit for them. So help them get to that level. Because in the world of college admissions, talent without evidence means nothing. I'm going to say it again. Talent without evidence is useless in college admissions. The way to rise above the noise is with curiosity, documented passion, and proof of independent learning. So if this video gave you clarity, hit like, subscribe, and share it with another parent who's got a physics prodigy. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.